Alright, I suppose this time around I'm going to talk about how I got to where I am now and deciding to join the Coast Guard. So, it started back in June, really. I'd been looking all around at all the different branches trying to figure out which job I'd want, and to make sure my interests were in line with what the branch offered. Air Force for a while seemed like it was the best for me. It had so many different jobs I could do. I thought about being it's just so much I wanted to do. And I thought, what should I do that would be best for my future career? But at the same time, I was also thinking about what would make the time worthwhile. I want to do something that I wouldn't be able to experience at the outside of the military as well. A unique experience. So I was kind of caught up between those two for a while. And, well, I don't remember exactly how I chose the Coast Guard. I think it's just because my grandpa was in there and my dad kept mentioning it, and, well, I guess I decided to check them out because, I got in contact with the Air Force. I talked to somebody there for a little bit, but they weren't very responsive. But when I made contact with the Coast Guard, they seemed pretty eager to take me. I guess I must be joining at a good time or something. But, yeah, so what happened was I asked the recruiter if I could do an interview, and they sent me some paperwork I had to fill out. So I filled it out on the computer. It's just like basic, like my address, medical problems, criminal activity, that kind of stuff. I was pretty much in the clear, so after I did that, I decided to personally take it down there to the office, which I live in Arizona, by the way, and if you guys have seen downtown Phoenix, which is where their office is, it's a little bit of a mess. I had to get parking, and I got my parking, but it was kind of far away, so I had to do kind of like a wild goose chase to find this place, because the office there was so old that the Coast Guard letters on the front had just faded, and it kind of blended in with all the rest of the buildings. But yeah, once I found it, after walking around aimlessly for about 10 minutes, I went up to it and tried to open the door, but I guess it's a pretty ghetto area because it was locked. You have to ring like a doorbell kind of thing, and they have a little camera there too to see who's at the door. And yeah, I just told them I was here to drop off some forms, so they opened it up for me, took my forms, shook my hand, said we'll get back to you. So I think it must have been a week later, maybe. They got back in touch with me and asked me if I would want to come in for an interview. And I did. But actually, it may have been more than a week, because I didn't take the ASVAB till July, so it might have been a couple weeks. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, when I went in for the interview, I had to make sure I had all my documents just to make the whole process easier. I brought in my social security, my license, my diploma, my transcripts, passport, whole 9 yards just to make it go smoothly. And I made sure to wear my best attire. I only own one suit. It's like a dark green kind of shade, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, we went in there. It was a nice office, they had a little main room with the TV there, all the chairs in the waiting room, magazines, flyers, and pamphlets about all the benefits and the different jobs. So I just had to wait for the interview. I actually got there early. When I got there, the doors were closed. But yeah, so I had to wait in the car for about 10 minutes till about 8:50, 8:55. Then they let me in, and I had to wait just a little bit before they called me in. So once I was in there, they just gave me the whole talk about what they do. They asked me why I wanted to join. They walked me through all the different benefits and whatnot, the jobs that I could have, perhaps. And it sounded pretty nice. I mean, I thought it was one of the things that really appealed to me about the Coast Guard was how few people there are in there. I usually like to root for the underdogs, so I guess that kind of attracted me there too. But anyways, it all sounded great to me, so I had them schedule me for the ASVAB on the next morning, or maybe the morning after, but it was really early at like 6 a.m. and I lived like an hour away from this place to begin with, like an hour drive, so I got up at like 4 or 4:30, got my shower on, got that suit back on. Yes, I washed it, and I drove down there. There was a little bit of traffic, but I got there in time because I'd like to leave early just to make sure I do get there on time. But when I got there, the front doors weren't even open. It was my first time going down to MEPS for the ASVAB. Going down to MEPS at all. And I couldn't figure out how to get in. I walked around the side, and well, some lady was luckily coming in to go up to a different floor, and she walked me through the back and directed me to the right floor. And once I got up there, I was surprised because of all the people waiting in line, because they have this big metal detector, big security check. And gosh, that line, there must have been like 20 army people in that line. Just 20. Like they came in on a big bus or something, maybe even more. There were a lot of people. So I just awkwardly stood there in line with them, just not knowing what to do. I was just looking all around me. You know, it's a weird place. It's new. But yeah, they had us empty our pockets and stuff, take out our metal items and belts even. But after I got through the metal detector and whatnot, they have this little thing where you slide your items in the conveyor belt. But yeah, once I got through all that, they had this little waiting kind of area, all these chairs and a TV, and then I forget what you call it, but OS I don't remember, unfortunately, but it's like this little room where they have all these games and these free snacks and stuff for the people there, which I did take advantage of that the last day I went for my oath. But anyways, yeah, I just kind of waited. I don't remember exactly when I did the fingerprint stuff, because you have to register your fingerprint on there. You do have to bring your social security card, by the way. That's important. Photo ID, social security. And yeah, I did that. And eventually, well, somebody from the Coast Guard was actually supposed to be there to administer the test, but nobody was there for me. I guess they were busy, but I had somebody from another branch help me out with it. I think it was some army fellow, but yeah, I was waiting there for like an hour actually after I got there, so it was maybe 7 or maybe later before I actually got to take the test. But I was nervous. I mean, I'd been studying pretty hard, but I wasn't sure how good I'd do. I mean, I wasn't an exceptional school student in high school. 3.0 is what I graduated with, but so once I took the test, it was just this little room. It was the CAT ASVAB, so it was the one that sort of changed according to how well you were doing, and I took that. They had the assembling objects, that was easy at the end, but they had math comprehension, reading. I knew how to do my math really well. The math was super easy, even though that was my worst subject in high school. And the reading was probably my... Okay, so I'm going to have to do a part 2 to this because of the YouTube cutoff time, but yeah, I'm going to post that part 2, and I'm going to continue talking about this, so catch you later.